was quite surprised that even passed both House and the Senate, the clean slate expungement bill. In fact, I got to go back and read it. I think it is supposed to be illegal for employers to ask you about, your criminal past. Because here in the city, we get in trouble. You go to jail. There's people sitting in jail because they don't have the money to pay their traffic tickets until they can have a hearing. Where you get out there in the suburbs, they can pay their ticket. They never go to court.
Yeah.
And they don't sit in jail.
Yeah. Just quickly, this is a special Teachers Lounge edition. People wonder how we come up with our topics. Knowing that all of us work, except for Will, he's retired, but all of us work and our jobs are teaching children. So since we're not journalists, we really don't have a lot of time to plan. We really don't. So we try to come together when we can and discuss issues, and then we decide. So this is an inside look at the Teachers Lounge. Just enjoy. So
behind the scenes, huh?
Behind the
Is this what y'all doing behind the scenes?
Yeah, I figure anytime we come together, we're gonna make it a show, And,
like right now?
Yeah.
Like because I'm asking, is this a show right now? Because I want to smoke a cigarette.
Right now. This is behind the scenes. As you see, this is impromptu.
Oh, I thought it was just a meeting. I didn't have time to do my hair and makeup.
It is. It is just a meeting. But I they see those behind the music and behind this and that. And, you said some things, Will, about, we stray off topic sometimes. And we do. And I want to chalk that up to, we're not professional journalists. We're people. And that's a normal conversation after you start here and then you kind of go off on different topics. And because we're not professional journalists, that's what we do. I mean, we're just, having a conversation. So we're learning. We're trying to do our best.
We're learning. And the only thing that
I have to get
separates us from professional journalism, the only thing that separates us is maybe the research that goes into being behind a professional journalist, because a lot of time professional journalists go behind each other and offer their findings in research, and they say, well, I read this and this is that, and the other journalists will say, well, no, I read this, and according to the polls that I've researched, this is that. That's the only thing that we're lacking is more research. We researching as teachers, we've already have master's degrees in writing and English and as far as expressing and writing about what we've experienced just from our own personal point and perspective and view. So not to be metaphorical about it, but we all are professional photographers, and we all can take a picture from our own different perspectives about how we see different things, whether it's educational or political. But the only thing that separates us, and I will reiterate again, from a journalist is maybe leaning toward more what Will is saying. It's just about more research, more sharing the screen. This is what I found and I've researched. This is what look at the police department letting them into the building. What do you think about that? Was it fixed more so than us talking? You know what I mean?
But that's political. But that was
even for education. Just getting clips and articles and facts dealing with what's going on locally in education wise and being able to share that.
And I'm not talking about some deep research, but if we get together before the show and we have what we're going to talk about and we put it in parameters, it doesn't have to be, I'm not talking about just deep academic research, but we should have a working knowledge of what we're talking about.
But we do.
And one thing that, most of the time, but a lot of times, quite honest, it seems like we're shooting from the hip.
But Will, you keep going back on that one episode where we made that.
No. That's not the only one. That is not the only one. I wish I could remember. I wish I could remember. That's not the only one. But we have been.
All right, Will. Go ahead, Candace.
Well, no, I'm kind of being a little silly at the same time, but I do agree with what Will is saying. And I know that one episode where we go back to, I don't even remember what it was, but we talked about it in the text that we weren't very, I guess, knowledgeable on that topic. And so when we get into, start filming and we don't know enough about the topic or about the person that we're interviewing, that it does seem as if we don't, like we're amateurs.
Yeah. That was the Sherry Game Day Yogo episode, and Leslie was inquiring about Proposal N. And yes. I will play the devil's advocate on Will's point. Will's right 100%. But just because Leslie didn't know the ins and outs of Proposal N doesn't mean the viewers didn't know. And that was a great time for Sherry to explain it.
But instead of talking about us,
like that was
dogging us out like she did.
Wait. I gotta say this. Let me say this. Right. I did come on with less knowledge. I did. But, and this is what I stress every week, and this is why I do stress it. We are teachers. We have a job. We have a high stress job. And during that time, I was going to professional development. Look, we didn't do any shows in December. I think the last show we did, it was election time. I think the last show we did was Sherry. So we're talking about October, November, maybe first part of November.
Part of November.
Right. But then we had to stop because
into October, right?
Right, because we had professional developments because it's an online thing, So I had to, focus and put my this brain on learning how to teach online because it is different than being face to face. It is very different. So that's
like Candace is a reading her thing is reading. So if we're going to do a show about reading, Candace would know more than we do. But then if we pick the topic about reading, like if we picked a topic about why our kids score lower in reading than other kids, we would have a working knowledge about that, but Candace would have a deeper knowledge about it. Right. So what I'm saying is that we should have a working knowledge about things, not deep. And that's the only thing that I could think of. But it's not the first time I've heard people who watched our show that said, "Man, you guys didn't seem like you."
But I feel like they're haters because you know why?
Donovan, come on,
not haters, Donnie. People are critiquing.
Well, what's the sense of having Sherry Gay Danielle go on the show if she can't explain Proposal N?
But
we're not trying to act like we're scholars out here.
Point.
If Leslie didn't know about Proposal N and we got Sherry that's fighting for Proposal N, it'd be different. It was just us four. Explain the Proposal N.
Donnie, this is.
I didn't think that was a bad. I didn't see that as a flaw, Will. I hear where people may say, and you are right, Will, because we do need to be more disciplined and knowledgeable on subjects and read. Just even if it's a 2-minute read, 2 to 3 2-minute reads before we come on a show about our topic, just to be astute. But that's fine. But I didn't think it was anything wrong with Leslie not understanding what Proposal N was about, because a lot of people didn't. That's why it passed, and that's why Sherry was on the show. Like, we would have seemed like idiots if she wasn't on the show. Donovan, but that's why we get the guests to explain what we don't know.
Can you turn your camera on?
Yeah, I'll turn it on.
Please.
I didn't know y'all wanted to film live.
Well, there you go. Go ahead. Now go ahead. Now I got you. Put that cigarette out, boy. We filming.
Donovan, look,
we're not editing this show. This is going on the way it is. All right.
In retrospect, that was a bad.
You just a bad boy.
In retrospect, that Proposal N was a bad example, but there were other times, and I can't recall them. Me myself, I mean, what I don't know could fill the Pacific Ocean, but which is why I say when we're going to do a specific show on a specific topic, we don't have to have deep knowledge, but we should have, you know, a workable knowledge on it. We should do a little bit of, I mean, like I just said about with the reading thing.
Wait.
I'm not going to sit up here and tell Candace about reading, because, I mean, I know something about reading because I was a teacher, but I know more about social studies. I'm not a reading specialist.
All right, I got to speak. All right, this is what I want to always be prepared. All right, but I also want to be authentically educated. All right, like when going back to the Sherry show, when she said that one of the reasons why so many people want to be on the school board is because they want to get at the contracts. They want to have something to say about the contracts. And that blew me away. I never knew that. I mean, I'm like, what? You know, I'm thinking they loved kids. And that's what it is, right? So I learned something from that. So I don't want to be so knowledgeable that I'm coming across like nobody can teach me anything. You know, and I think what's authentic about our show is that we're teachers and we're willing to let others teach us. So I don't ever want any of us to come across that you can't tell us something, because we're teachers.
But I will say, going to William's point, is that he's right. We do have to have like a basic foundation or some type of knowledge of the person that we're interviewing as well as the topic. However, we're not the experts in it.
Right.
So I guess in a sense, we have to be very careful on how we ask questions in a way that we carry on the conversation.
I agree, but we do that. We
wait. Here, let me give you one more example that just came back to me. Some of the biggest kudos we had is with the two shows with Garland Gilchrist. Some of the best things that I've heard about our shows and he talked about a lot of things that I did not know, that we did not know, but he was educating us because that's what he does, you know. And I wish I could remember it's been 5 years since we've been doing this, but when we shooting from the seat of our pants, that's when maybe, and believe it or not, people came back to me, Sherry dogged us out. She dogged us out about that.
Will, I want to know how.
But that's the way she is, though. But that's the way she is.
I was just at her house and she was fixing food and stuff and everything we was eating. Ain't nobody. And then you know what? Malik Shabazz wasn't there, but the older dark-skinned guy with the glasses, him and the other guys, you know, with the Panther shirts that with him, they came through. They was like, "Oh, Teacher's Lounge," and I'm sitting there, and then Sherry getting ready to make me and Michelle some dinner, and nobody said, "Dog, that's not over there." I was
no,
nobody said nothing.
Well, stop.
Donnie feels betrayed.
What was said?
Okay, you know what? What was said is not as important as, let's just make sure we're not shooting from the seat of our pants. There are going to be people that we're going to, let me finish. There's going to be people that we're going to have on the show that there's a whole lot we don't know. And then, Donnie, I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't hear that, because, you know, people, especially politicians, they're not always the most forthright people. They want our votes. They want our votes and all of that. So I'm not surprised that you know, you didn't hear anything. And the way the person expressed it, it was kind of like a little snide remark that.
Why did you say what was said?
No, because I promised the person that I would not say, you know, what they said, because we're going to need them somewhere along the line when it comes to this show. And they were talking, and and they called one of us out. They said that person didn't even know what they were talking about. And I just said, well,
it wasn't me.
Leslie,
wait. Let me say in my defense. Listen.
I got the feeling it was probably you.
Wait, please.
But how did they know the rest of us didn't know?
Well, wait a minute. Let me say in my defense, on this behind the scenes show, this is why we're being really, really, I'm just standing by, you know, let me say this. I always want people to remember that when all of us, except for you, Will, we have a job. You know, this Teachers Lounge thing is a side hustle, and we don't even get paid for this. All right. In fact, we dish out money in order to make this happen. So I need everyone to understand that we are trying to create a niche. I need everybody to understand that we need your support in creating this niche, and that we don't know everything, but this is the Teachers Lounge. And in the Teachers Lounge, and you have to remember, this is where teachers come and we just kick issues around and we talk about things. And I don't want us to ever stray away from that. That in the Teachers Lounge, it's just teachers coming together talking about issues. Sometimes it's education, sometimes it's politics. And I don't want anyone to think that we're masters of our field. We're giving our opinion. And
so let me just say this too. Then maybe we need to think about who we're inviting on the show. Maybe we need to stick in our lane, because I do feel like there have been some topics that wasn't all about education in which we talked about before. So maybe bringing people on the show who are politicians or politics, it might not mesh well with what our niche is. Our niche is education.
But see, I disagree, because most politicians have children who go to school. So of course, everyone is interested in education. Everyone is. If you don't have children, you might have children in your neighborhood. So you're going to have an interest. You don't want them hanging out in front of your house all night. You want them involved in something. So education is going to break off into many different topics. And I don't want to take away from the authenticity of our show, which is the spontaneity of it, which is, oh, by the way, I gotta say this. And that gotta say may take us off topic, but it may be germane to the topic as well.
Well,
so,
again,
put ourselves in a box. I'm just talking about
having a working knowledge. Like I said,
right.
Gilchrist talked about things that I don't know all the in and out.
The first one was about he talked about improving the voter system.
Right, but we're not.
And he was running for city clerk, and that was his position. The first time we had Garland on, he was running for city clerk, and he was running and banking on voter system. People were unhappy about the way the mayoral elections even came out, and it felt like there was insignificancies going on because there were a couple of posts or stations that weren't working, and he had a very in-depth knowledge about how he was going to improve the voter system in Detroit. That was our first show with Garland. The second one was when he was running to be lieutenant governor. Mm-hmm. He had already lost to Janice Winfrey for the city clerk position, but now he had teamed up with Gretchen Whitmore, and he was running for the lieutenant governor position. And he was talking about the things and improvements that he was going to make, from that standpoint. But like I said, even when we do have people on there on the show like that, we're not well versed in that, and that's what we bring them on the show. That's what we bring them on the show to do. So if anybody says something weird or was a hater about anybody on the team about how we doing our show, we had Dr. Umar on the show. I know he know way more than me. What the hell I got him on the show for if he ain't gonna teach me way more than I want to know? You here with your local host that you kick it with that know a little bit more than you, but I'm bringing in people that's gonna son you and school you on the things that I'm interested in, the things that I'm learning about. Because other than that, it'd be our own personal,
I don't think people are necessarily haters. Everybody has their critiques. And some of the critiques that we got about the show, I don't think they were necessarily haters. Overall, people love the show. They're just giving us feedback. Maybe what they saw as far as improvements, that sometimes we stretched the topic out too far or we got off track. Look at the guy that's coming on Thursday. The only reason why I sent that criminal justice reform thing, I'm sure he knows more about it than I do, because I've never really, aside from being a police officer, I've never navigated the criminal justice system. I don't know. So I'm quite sure we'll learn a lot from him. But if we read that article, we'll know what reforms were passed. But as far as how long he has been fighting for those things and people have been fighting for him, I did not even know until I read the article.
Let me say this, you know, reading articles is great. It's definitely a way to gain knowledge. But sometimes I read for a living, and sometimes when I come to an article regarding the teacher's lounge and I'm so exhausted because, you know, I worked all day, you know, sometimes it's just a skim. And even what I read, because I'm not familiar with the topic, it doesn't make sense to me because I'm not familiar with the topic, you know? And I don't think that any of us should have to go and take a course in criminal justice just to talk criminal justice on this show. I want someone that can educate me. Maybe I will ask what someone might call a dumb question, but you know, someone's going to.
It has to be asked because everybody doesn't know. That's what our viewers need to hear, that stuff. No, you're right, Leslie.
I'm not arguing about that. Look when we had Mary Mueller. Look when we had Mary Mueller on the show from the health department. I had a working knowledge of trauma, but Mary Mueller knew trauma. I remember me, you, Donnie, everybody. We were sitting up there asking her, "What about this? What about that?" But we knew we had a working knowledge of trauma, you know? Yeah. So you're right. We don't have to know everything. And that's not the point that I'm trying to make. I'm trying to say we should have a working knowledge. We should have a little bit of background on whomever it is we're talking to. We should have a little bit of knowledge on whatever they are, who's ever coming on, or what they're about. That's all I'm saying. We don't have to be as versed as they are. Otherwise, why have them on the show? Because we know everything.
I agree with you, Will. I just don't, but I just need everyone to understand that in the whole month of December and November, maybe the last 2 weeks of November, maybe, I was in PDs. I was in professional developments. I was in professional developments for this online teacher thing, you know, which was.
Well, Leslie, you don't have to keep defending yourself because
I know.
Here's the thing, right? William had shared with us some feedback that he heard from someone. We didn't like the feedback. It kind of hurt a little bit. No, I understand. It kind of hurt a little bit, right? A little bruise to the ego. We all are busy. We all have these things going on. No, we're not experts, but what William is just trying to say is that, hey, we do need some type of foundation in the topic. That's all. So don't and I'm saying this, Leslie, right. as I love you. Don't keep defending yourself. They know we work.
Because I myself, Leslie, was a little angry because when I heard it, it was like, well, who do you think you are? Because well, not you in particular. I'm just talking about I kind of I would have liked to have talked to her if what this person told me, you know, was true. I would have liked to talk to her myself. Yeah, you're Sherry Gay Dagnago, but do you know everything? And, you know, we've been on the show, we've been on the air for 5 years, and I would say that 95% of our press has been good. So what makes you so high and mighty that you could come along and, you know, so it bothered me too. And that was a bad example, actually, about, you know, proposal in, because actually that had to do with the workings of the city and these contracts. It really didn't have anything to do with education. It's just that, you know, only reason why I knew about it is because what we were fighting for through 482 forward. So no, it was a bad example. I get a little sensitive when people dog us out because the few times they have dogged us out, I mean, we lost a host that kind of dogged us out. Yeah. For reasons that I just did not think they were legitimate. So I'm kind of sensitive about what we do, and I apologize for that example. But
now we're going back to the last host. That got a lot to do with what Dr. Umar said, and I hope I'm not stepping out of bounds here because I don't have no problem with anybody. But he said the reason why I won't march with Black Lives Matter is because it's not an all black movement, and you got people in here that outnumber you, and you're gonna put them in our movement. And even if they may help us, that's fine. Let them help us. But I'm for all Black movement.
You sound like Malcolm X in that movie when that white girl walked up to him and said, "What can I do to help out? What you?" And he looked at her and said, "Nothing."
I mean, and with that said, I'm glad you said that, because with that said, I don't have anything else to say about Marnina. But that's about where it goes. What you said about that, Malcolm, that's kind of funny, because that kind of is where I'm coming from on that.
Well,
that's just leave that where it
that
is.
Was just
I don't have no problem with nobody.
Well, let's focus on the positives, right? Leslie, there are some goals that we have for the Teachers Lounge Talk Show for 2021. Mm-hmm. Let's kind of talk about that. Like as far as making us a little bit more visible, building up our social media presence, building up our marketing, our promo. What's the plan? What's the goal?
Well, I want to unshare my screen, and then we're going to come back to this because Donnie brought it up. And all right, so I know that I've reached out to an online advertiser, the one that we used a few years ago. COVID has really, really damaged her friends and family, so she's not in a good headspace. And I'm really, really sorry, because great service. Crystal Rice, I believe it's Black Economic Exchange. Great publicity. I definitely give her a thumbs up, but she's unable to help us, So I have a meeting Monday around noon, I think, with this other online media group. And I'm going to talk with them. And if I like what I hear, I'm going to just say, okay, here, I'm going to send you some pictures. And can you give us we're back? So I'm hoping that there'll be some type of Facebook, Instagram, and what's the other one? LinkedIn, I think. Like Teachers Lounge is back, 2021, and then COVID. Topics will include COVID, face-to-face instruction, teacher relations, student voices, all of these topics that are germane to education. I know we're going to run some commercials. I know the shows that I believe are home run shows. I pray that Dr. Vitti is going to be one of our guests, and also some other staff in DPSCD. And I'm hoping that we could be let more people know that this person is coming on our show by advertising, hopefully, on the DPSCD website. That would be good. If we can get on DPSCD website, that would, to me, we made it. To me, we have climbed the mountain, because then everyone will at least know about the show, because a lot of people don't even know about the show. A lot of people have no idea what it is.
And so speaking of that too, is that there is a whole entire wonderful group of teachers all on social media, and they have been connecting and clicking more than ever. And so what I'm thinking too is a great way for us to segue into kind of connecting with teachers outside of Michigan, is maybe inviting some of those influencer teachers that's on Instagram and social media onto our show. Like I know someone who has a doctorate in dyslexia. I believe dyslexia will be a great topic. A topic of more Black men in education. And so what I'm thinking of too, my vision at least, is to kind of bring in people that are outside of our box here in Michigan and Detroit, and get them to come on the show. And then they can promote that, hey, I'm going to be on the Teachers Lounge Talk Show. And I know that we go live on Facebook, but another issue is that people are like, hey, I can't find the show, or I don't know what channel, or I don't have access.
Right.
I don't even have access
to
live on Facebook.
Yeah.
Look, this whole live on Facebook thing has been a pain in my rear end. I'm not good with Facebook. I'm okay with posting a picture and making a comment too funny, send the video. But anything else is above my head. So we tried to do live feed on Facebook our last show, and it just didn't happen. So I'm even going to talk
before. Remember?
Yes,
we were able to do it before.
Yes, it was. I don't know what happened. I don't know when I bumped my head.
We never went live on the Teachers Lounge on Facebook, Candace. That was after dark. I don't remember ever going live on Facebook.
I remember.
No. Our first.
When have we ever gone live on Facebook with the Teachers Lounge?
Yes, we
when
did.
we were in the studio.
Yes, we did. When we were at the studio.
No. Since the pandemic, we've been doing Zoom. I'm saying since Zoom.
Right. You're right.
Right. No. Yeah, Donnie, you're right. But there's a way that we can do it. We just gotta, sit back and figure it out.
I mean, I guess I would have to send the invites out through my Zoom account because I have no problem with going live.
Well, I'll say this.
Facebook.
Like I sent, because I knew I wanted to talk about Betsy DeVos tonight, right? So a lot of teachers that I know from Philly and Jersey, I sent them an invite, like, can you come on this show? Because we're going to talk about Betsy DeVos and her
right.
return. And about half of the people that I sent invites to came back, no, I don't think so. No, thanks. Because teachers are afraid. They want to have their opinion, but not in public. So that's another catch-22 for us in inviting teachers on the show, which is why I can tell you this. We've been on since September. We took a break in December. We have not had any DPSCD teachers on this show. All right. Why? They're nervous. They don't want to attach their opinion to their face and then have to face their principal on Monday. And I get it. But see, I don't care.
The only one we could get was John. I had John Winston, the author.
The author. He's a teacher.
But John's he's a very busy man.
Well,
but even still, I feel like he
just said a cuss word.
Are we recording this going on? I thought this was just a business meeting.
No, it is, but we're filming it. Now I'm going to have to turn this off and get the recording and find out the number of it. Donovan.
But see, what I'm thinking about too, Donovan, is
the S word, y'all can forgive me for that S word.
You didn't know we were recording.
It wasn't an F word, it was an S word.
You knew we were recording.
Listen, if these little kids can cuss the teacher out and act a fool, Mr. Gardner can slip up and say the S word.
Yeah, but now we got to get it in editing, which costs money. All right. So next time I see you, I'm gonna wash your mouth out with soap.
No, you know what you're gonna make me do, Leslie? Next time I record a show, you're gonna make me bring my y'all tricked me. You said we was gonna go on and talk for a few minutes, then we was gonna do a show. Y'all tricked me.
Potty mouth.
Oh, so this is what I was gonna say too. Is that thinking about getting like people to be able to comment freely without feeling like I don't want to put my face to my opinion. This is why I feel like we have to get back to doing the live streaming on social media platforms, because then more people are able to view, they can comment, we can have someone kind of read the comments and, kind of extend the conversation to the audience as well. So it's not so one-sided between us.
When I meet with the social media people, I'm going to let them know about my woes with Facebook. I could trouble David with it, but he's
well, I mean, I unless it's like an offer before, you guys can have access to my account. I don't know if it's something.
I don't know how to do that.
Something going on with you guys' account, but I happily give you the password.
I would rather have an account set up for me where they give me the numbers to go into it, and they say, okay, you just push this button and you're on. That's what I need. I don't need. Okay, let me go to my. I don't need that. I need the most simplistic of rules right now. So when I talk with these people tomorrow, I'm going to say, look, if you can set up an account, Teachers Lounge Detroit 2021, that would be great. And then just as long as, and all of us can have access, all of us should.
So you want to get rid of the old account, Leslie?
Yeah, I do because
you're done with it?
It's old, and let's get something. 2021 is going to be something new. So I just want to start all over, and hopefully the Facebook account. If I talk with these people, when I talk to these people, all of us can have access. I hope it's just a matter of just what's their email. Give us their email, and I can just send it to them, and they can just hook it up, and then be like, okay, bam. Now all y'all can have access, and then we'll start with the online advertising. And then
the only thing is that I was thinking about is that you guys have built up a really great following on that page and the likes, but it is old. So it's like it's sitting there, and all of the likes that you guys have on the page, I don't know, it's over, I don't know, I think maybe 300 likes. This is what people look for when they do go into your social media is, like, hey, are people following this page? How many views does this page have? So I feel like starting over, it'll be its pros and cons in a sense, Well,
maybe I can talk with them and show them the old account, because I like it. It's just that I'm just having problems manipulating it, and it's probably because I stopped using it because we stopped filming. We went off last year, like around February. Remember, like we were just abruptly stopped. So it was Minister Malik's show. We just stopped, because his contract, his DMC.
It's probably just this whole Zoom.
I'll tell you what I'll do. Since I am the retired person.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I got to say this because I will be asking if it would be great if we could use the Teams platform since we're DPSCD. And wouldn't it be great? Because I know how to use the share screen. And I know how to share the sound, So I just want you to know, it would be great if we could use the Teams platform. I don't know how to go about doing that, but I don't do it and they have to answer to, you know what I mean? My friends.
They have good backgrounds and things of that nature, but that's more of when you're talking about using Teams, Leslie, that's like giving your personal email. I mean, that's like giving your school email account to handle your business when you would rather use your personal email. Zoom is the platform that most independent podcast members want to use, whether they're taking their Zoom to YouTube or they're taking it to Parler or Instagram or Twitter or whatever platform that they're using. Zoom is the epitome of what we're supposed to be using, and it would be maybe taking a step back, or even it just wouldn't make sense to even try to use Microsoft Teams because that's too connected to our work.
Okay.
I need you to start doing a vocabulary word of the day. Participants. That's the new word.
Did you see me over here laughing?
Donovan, you have all the vocabulary words. I just love it.
Well, y'all get mad at me when I cuss, so I'm gonna start using 20-cent words.
That's funny. That is funny.
But I'll tell you what I was gonna say. I'll tell you what I'll do. I will try. I know I won't be ready by Thursday, but I will try and get a grasp of the ins and outs of recording on Facebook Live. Okay, I know somebody who does it. I am the person that's retired right now. I have a little bit more time. You guys think I do. My wife's honey-do list kind of takes up my teaching time. But no. In fact, my spiritual teacher, he does Facebook Live all the time. I'm going to contact him.
I know
I know I won't be ready by Thursday, but I will take that on.
Look, I'm hoping that once I have the meeting with on Monday, I'm hoping that because their whole thing is supposed to be they'll take care of it, and I don't got to do nothing. Nothing. That's supposed to be the whole premise of all of it, and I just sit back and reap the rewards. So that I'll be talking with them tomorrow. So and we could talk about that on Thursday too before we.
Now let me ask this: who among us has a Zoom account in case we go past 45 minutes?
I have a Zoom account.
Okay, I don't.
And it's got a Zoom account.
I do too.
So I might, whomever's going to host the show, I might have to pass this Facebook Live knowledge on to you, because if I set it up, whatever we don't say in 45 minutes, then the show is over. I mean, during the holiday, they let you talk for 2 hours. Now that the holiday is over, my wife was on the call because we don't have an account. Man, when that 45 minutes up, they took it away like we stole something.
Oh, you know what?
You gotta buy this thing, brother.
Leslie, you know that you can live stream on YouTube as well. So have you just bring that up as well? Like it doesn't have to be Facebook, but it's different media platforms that we could use where more viewers can be able to see the show.
I'll definitely ask them tomorrow because I didn't know that. Because all that the online stuff, like my husband's good at it, but with him working and stuff, and he's my editor and our editor. And
well, the thing is, if you guys want to go live on Facebook Thursday, then Let's get everything together and plan for it. And I'll send the invites out and I'll host it. That way I know we can go live for sure.
Donnie, can you do that? You can host it.
You know how to go live with the Facebook thing?
I've already done it with 2-3 episodes After Dark.
Then there it is.
Good. Yeah. Wait, so Donnie, now listen, this Hakeem Crampton, you can either Google him to find out information. I can send you what I have.
Just text me his name because I want to get the spelling right because they're
he's bad.
So I don't want to pull up the wrong person and I'm reading up on somebody else.
Well, guys, now remember, I sent a whole thing about the prison reform that I'm quite sure he knows.
Right.
Because when I asked you, Leslie, is this the guy? And you said, no, he wasn't. But I said, I know this is what he's going to be talking about. And quite frankly,
can you send that to Donnie?
I sent it to everybody, but I'll send it again. Yeah.
Look for that, Donnie, and open up.
It would be good for us to read. I'll send it as soon as we finish talking.
So Donnie, you got this Thursday show?
I have the Thursday show. I'll send it and I'll host it. That way we can record it for WHPR purposes as well as go Facebook Live.
I think you need to be hosting more often. And that way you get to be more serious and you won't you don't get to spaz out because you get real passionate, Donnie, about these issues, which is good. That's good. But sometimes you lose yourself. And then
I know, and I don't want to ever hurt, I don't want to ever hurt the integrity of the show. And at the same time, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't want to hurt the integrity of the show. And at the same time, I don't want to, feel like, oh, my intelligence wasn't there. But, at the same time, I have to be mindful of the content and the, the audience that we're trying to reach. Yeah. I would really have loved to have seen the feed of that show because if it wasn't just that bad, I feel like it was so impactful and so good and so live. Like, well, hell, that's what people might want to see. Some fire in the morning. They might want to see. Let it rip in the morning. But I haven't seen the feed. I left it feeling like it was the bomb.
Listen, I'm all for the spice. I'm all for the pushback. I'm all for the debate. I'm not for not being able to control your mouth because you got to drop cuss words. And I'm not for racial slurs. I'm not for that. And no one should be. That's where we draw the line. We don't say racial slurs, and we're not going to let our guests say racial slurs. Period.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of
also I was thinking too, Leslie, remember when we talked about kind of having a show where there's different segments, where it's not just we have this guest and this is the only thing we're going to be talking about and discussing, but remember how we would talk about like current events, doing like a segment where we kind of humorous or something like that. Yeah. That's something that we should think about. Okay. It's like the format of the show.
Okay. The current events that's going on. And you know what, Candace? You are a genius. You are a genius. Listen, it's that everything is education, and just because we're the teachers' lounge. Yes, our topics we may have the insight on what's going on in education, but what Candace said, she said it very eloquently. Current topic events. We can have funny things to say about it. We can have comedical points of views about it.
Wait a minute, Donnie.
I love that, Candace.
Wait, no, Donnie. We can do memes. Stop. Donnie, we talked about that. You were supposed to be doing the dunce cap. Remember, we were going to do the dunce cap of the week.
Yeah, you did that before. That was
fun. Of the week.
The dunce cap of the week. The educator that flubbed, that really dropped the ball. You were supposed to be doing that, and we were going to
remember that. That was funny.
I remember that.
We were supposed to be doing that, but then a minister lost his contract, and we left off the air. But Donnie, I think you should revisit that. The dunce cap of the week, and we can even edit it like dunce cap of the week, and then it's just you. Just talking about this is what happened, blah blah blah, and that's why so and so gets a dunce cap of the week. Like 5 minutes of your rant.
Like Barack Obama taking that phony sip of water.
Yeah.
That's when you can go on your rant. That's when you go on your rant.
This show that you're doing this Thursday, like host it, you need to really consider like the last 5 minutes. And I'll be doing this, like, because right now we have this, okay? You need to really think about the last 5 minutes. When you see me do this, all right, we got to wrap it up. But now we're going to go to the dunce cap of the week. And if you need to find something that went wrong in education that you want to talk about, but you got to research it, right? Remember what we were all talking about, being ready, right? You got to research it. And then share your screen and show the picture, show the video and all of that. I think that would be so funny. I think that would
Does it have to be about education? Like, does it have to be education?
But listen, so many people are flubbing on education. Listen, we have teachers going on rants in the classroom on this viral mess. I mean, all of that. You can Google it. Just as long as there's no cuss words.
Okay, guys, I just need 30 seconds. When 30 seconds. This show and you guys, it's just like if somebody would have came up and called one of my kids stupid. Yeah. I don't like people I didn't like that dogging out about our show, and I guard it kind of guard it closely. So, and I had my own feedback, but. I just think we do a heck of a job, and I know sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4, 5, even more years than that for things to catch on. And I just think we got something really good here, and I just jealously guard it sometimes. So if I came across like, I didn't mean to come across the way I did, but I could understand how you guys might have felt like, well, dang, you ain't saying we stupid, are we? No, that wasn't it.
I like that voice that you just came up with.
That's your voice.
I've never heard that voice.
All right, this is a special segment of the Teachers Lounge. You just saw our meeting. We wanted to give you behind the scenes, like what goes on, how we plan. We're probably going to do maybe another show like this, just so that you understand that we do prepare and we do our best, but remember, we're teachers, we're not journalists, and we're going to do our best to bring you educational trends every week. The Teachers Lounge Talk Show airs on WHPR TV 33, Comcast Channel 90, from 7 to 8 a.m. every Saturday morning. We are a subsidiary of the Get Up, Stand Up show, and that's Minister Malik Shabazz. Thank you so much, WHPR.
Resist, everybody.
Resist. Thank you very much, RJ Watkins Jr., Mr. Tyler. Thank you so much, David, Available Geeks. Thank you. Everybody, we will see you next week. The next show you should be with Hakeem Crampton. Thank you so much. See you in a week.
See you, everybody.
We were chilling today.
All right. This is my first time ever filming without getting all dialed up.
I know. I love it.
Yeah, me too.
What do you mean you're not dialed up? What do you mean? What is he talking about? She's not dialed. That's not a dial.
You look so pretty this morning.
That's what I said. Shoot,
you look so pretty this morning.
Well, what about me? I didn't have a chance to do my hair and makeup.